Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look around this really nice 1984 Jaguar XJ-S V12. This car's for sale. It's for a family friend. Unfortunately, it was owned by a father who died a few years ago, and the car's been sat, and unfortunately it now needs a new home, so I'm going to try and help her sell it, and I just thought I'd do a nice walk around video because it's such an interesting car really. So he owned it from 1994. And it was used regularly up until 2012, 2013, and then from that point onwards it was sat and hasn't done hardly any miles since then really. But fast forward to the end of last year, the owner of the car spent about £5,000 on catch-up jobs, which we'll go through later in the video, getting it roadworthy and having a few jobs done like the headlining and things like that. So it's not a perfect car by any means. Mechanically it's very solid and it's safe and comfortable and everything works on it, but the bodywork is a little bit tired. It looks great from from sort of 6 foot away, but on close inspection I think long term it will need a full respray really on the body to make it perfect again. But that said, it has got a lot going for it. So the interior, if we just have a look in there, it's got a beautiful, I don't know what you'd call this interior, it's like a mushroomy, sort of mushroom, light brown, creamy leather. And their manual seats, being it's a HE, but being an earlier car, it's got the manual seats rather than the electric ones, which I think is sort of a nice thing. It's a bit purer than the sort of later ones that had the electric seats and so on. Look how thin the seat is. And actually it's interesting, I think the leg room on these got worse, because I think as the sort of seats got bigger, it encroached on the rear space. I've sat in the rear of this car, and I'm not a particularly big guy, but I've got enough leg room in the back there. So moving around to the back of the car, you can see that it's nice and tidy. The paintwork's an even colour, but it is quite flat in places. I don't know if I can show this on the video, but the roof's a little bit faded, a little bit patchy and flat, and then the bonnet. The sides aren't too bad to be fair, but again the bonnet has sort of seen better days really, and the leaper on the bonnet, if you look around here, you can see obviously that's after someone's fitted that years ago, and there's a bit of damage around the front of the bonnet there. The sills look good. It's got Pirelli P600 tyres, which I'm guessing are quite old now, but they're in nice condition. But the sills are pretty straight around both sides. And actually the sides are quite straight. They're not full of parking dinks and dents and everything else. Quick close up on the rear arches. They tend to rust around where the mounting points for the rear bumper are. This one's got a small blob here on this side, but the underneath of it is clean. And this arch is, I'd say, pretty good. And bottoms of the doors, there's like a lacquer run or something just here. And then moving round to the driver's side. Rear arch, bit of bubbling. Nothing crazy, but it's not a perfect paint job. It's clearly had paint in the past that's sort of not really stood the test of time. The bottom of the wing here is just sticking out a little bit. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. Again, it could be a bit of corrosion where that is bolted on somewhere. And to me it looks like it's had paint, but they've tried to keep these go faster stripes. So they've sort of taped those off and lacquered up to them. I don't know if the video is going to capture that really, but you can see that it has had paint. So I think, you know, really to make this perfect, it does want a full paint job. But the last owner has owned it since 1994, and it's only done 82,614 miles. That's backed up with the service history, so that's the genuine mileage of the car, which I'd say makes it fairly low. Headlining's good. We'll have a quick look under the bonnet. Well, the gas struts are gone on the bonnet, unfortunately, so I've just got this piece of wood here that I've just been propping it up with like that. So the inner wings aren't rusty at all, really. They look really nice. It's always been garaged since 1994 in the same garage, which is that one. That's obviously going to help control the rust. And that's the engine bay, just sort of original and, you know, maintained over the years, but not particularly interfered with. Still got a remote control alarm, which I've got a fob for. Haven't actually tried that. So I'll just start it up and we'll have a listen under the bonnet and round the back. So the original Jaguar radio works, and the trip computer appears to work. It's not done, I think it's, you know, it's been reset since the car was last used, but that looks like it's working okay. Centre console's in nice condition. The interior is actually really good. It hasn't got original mats, and the mats in the back are missing. But they might be around somewhere, so I'll see if I can dig those out. They could be in the garage. I think on the subject of rust, it doesn't look like there's that much rust other than a few small bubbles here and there. The only thing that does, I think, need addressing fairly soon is on the boot. You can see that the leading edge of the boot at the back there is pretty shot. So I think it needs probably needs a new boot. And then round the sides down here. Not going to poke around too much, but that's not brilliant. Boot's nice and clean. Battery's good, it always starts, even if it's been sat for ages. You don't need to leave this car on a trickle charger. It hasn't got any battery drain issues. And then it's got the nice toolkit, which is fairly complete. I think there's a couple of bits and pieces missing, but generally it's not too bad in there. And obviously you've got the jack, spare wheel. Shot of the fuel filler cap. There's so many keys for this car. Everything seems to have a different key. The door locks, the fuel filler cap, the ignition, the glove box. It's ridiculous. So I'll cut to a video of the service history so you can see the paperwork. The service history and paperwork is really good on this car. Obviously it's been off the road since 2012, 2013. So there's nothing in that time period. There's a load of old V5s and things. It used to be on the reg 96BYO. That is now on retention, and the new plate is B673RJF. So if you want to look at the MOT history and so on, you can look on the government website and see that. So there's some nice little sort of photos of the car in period there, next to a Granada Scorpio by the looks of it. Showing its old reg there. Manual for the stereo, service record and warranty. So if we just have a look at this. Oh, it's an 85 car. I think I said earlier in the video it's an 84, but it's an 85 car. Just some stuff there. Owner's handbook. There's loads of old receipts and things which I'm not going to go through. Oh, this has got some service history stuff. Stamps in the book from the 80s and early 90s. Some more user manuals. An RAC hotel guide, 1985. That's interesting, isn't it? Dealer road map. What year was that? I don't know what year that was. That's pretty cool. Wiring diagram. And then recent bills, which are going to be of most interest really, was sort of October, November last year. So I had an MOT in November last year, new battery, new headlining, rear view mirror repaired, and a valet. And then around the same time, repair of the two front windows because they weren't working. So that's £880 for the MOT and the headlining, 168, so £1,000 worth of bills recent there. New indicator unit. And then there's this big bill here, so we'll just go through this one. So this was end of October 2020. New oil cooler, new rear brake discs, new handbrake pads, new bleed nipple on the left-hand rear brake caliper, new rear radius arms, some work to the exhaust. Looks like a second-hand midsection was fitted there. New front shock bushes, new front bottom ball joints and the tracking done. Looks like it's had some welding there to the inner sills. Windscreen wiper repair, and what else have we got? Rear fog and reversing lights, due to a fuse box issue, weren't working. Windscreen washer jets weren't working, so new washer pump. Front lower valance corroded due to age and weathering. So it had a new front valance painted, and that bill was £3.5 grand. So in November last year it had £5,000 spent on it. This was the failure sheet. You can pause it if you want to read it. And then I'm not going to go through it, but there's a load of old history in there that's sort of irrelevant but nice to have. There's a load of old tax discs, plenty of keys. I've got another key in my pocket, which is here. So there are all the keys that come with the car. That's a genuine, look like these are the original Jaguar keys, and then the other ones that have been cut over the years. I don't know if these fobs work, I haven't tested it. Previous owners, 5 previous owners from 1985 to 94, and then the current owner has had it, you know, since 94 up until today, so 27 years now. So yeah, in summary, 27 years with a single owner, and it's done 83,000 miles. So it's not a perfect car, but it's probably one that you should be considering if you want an XJS with a sort of reasonable provenance. Okay, let's go back to looking around the car now. Hopefully this just gives you an idea of the condition. It's you know, in summary, it's a really nice car. It just wants a little bit of love. It wants someone that's going to probably drive it for a while with a view to restoring the body in a few years. But it's ready to enjoy. It's reliable. It drives really well. It's just, like I say, it's just been MOT'd. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you are interested in the car, you can leave a comment or you can give me a call. My number is 07712 426 170. I can either meet you and show you the car, or the owner can, but ultimately, you know, with payments and everything, you'd be dealing with the owner. If you've got any questions or there's something that you want to comment on, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be uploading more content over the summer. Thanks for watching.